Hi, Mo here for the love of yoga and for the love of yogis. I'm introducing the world to MJ Turnbull. MJ is an amazing yoga teacher. She is a teacher over at a studio called Ride+Reflect in Bernardsville, New Jersey. And but it's not just in Jersey. She also teaches on Zoom. So MJ, thank you so much for being with me today and for just having this wonderful yoga conversation. Little fact, MJ is one of my inspirations. So I wanted to interview her because I've always wondered, what is your inspiration? What is it that you really love about yoga, even now, because you said that you've been practicing for a while.
It's such an interesting question because it's a big question. Um, it's a big question. And what I love about yoga is, I mean, I'm very old. I'm 58. So I'm old. But and I've been practicing since I was 13. And so in each stage of my life, yoga's helped me. But I think when you look at that span from 13 to 58, what has kind of been a constant was that it has solved some problems. So it's solved some physical problems and some emotional problems, but it's always been a little bit of a constant in my life. And and sometimes in Shavasana, they'll say just, let go and, just don't think. And I'm just thinking and I'm problem solving. And at the end of a yoga class, you've kind of come into like an empathy and a kindness position. And so when you have a problem and you look at it through empathy and kindness, if it's yourself or if it's with somebody else, or maybe it's your children, you come to a solution that you're very happy with. And so at the end of each yoga class, if I again had some sort of issue, or let's say if it was a physical problem, if I looked at it with empathy and kindness, I was able to find my way out rather than like, ugh, I'm stupid, ugh, I'm angry, ugh, I'm mad. And so it really was, it made me a better, person, a better wife, a better sister, a better daughter, and certainly a better mother. And so all of those things, and again, somebody who, I might just be angry at myself, where I'd be like, it's okay. You're human. You made a mistake, move on. So the Shavasana really helped me. And everything leading to Shavasana helped me. But that Shavasana, there's so many times that I was like, Eureka, I've got it.
I do love those moments in Shavasana when you have that eureka moment. And you touched on something I noticed that you bring an empathy to class. And as someone who's taken your classes actually, it's great because you find a way to connect with, somehow you find a way to connect with every person in the room. And even if it's like a big full class, you find a way to empathize with all of us. And you're also very encouraging and you'll remind us, okay, you know what, if you're not getting to that balance today, then it doesn't matter. You're still doing great work.
It is, and I think that that's what I truly believe. I truly believe, and I love being in class. I do. I love being in class, and I love being around people. Even in, we'll go to the pandemic later on, but in a big full class, it's a treat for a teacher because the energy you get from people is just whew, right in. And so, as much as you're giving out, you're getting it tenfold back. And so, you move around and you support people. And I'm very good at remembering people's bodies. And I don't mean, what they look like, I mean what their spine looks like. And so, or what's happening with the shoulder. And so I'll always remember, hey, be careful with your right hip, maybe walk that foot forward. Does that feel better? And that attention to detail for people, I mean, maybe not their names particularly, but the attention to detail that I'm taking care of them really helps. And so if I build up that within a class, I'll have, 30 people in there, 20 people in there, and each person feels a little bit seen. And who doesn't want to be seen, right? And I love I mean, I'm obsessed with issues of the body. It's always a mystery to me. So if I can try to solve that mystery, it's a puzzle. And I think about it a lot. And I think about, Susie Q cannot step her foot forward. And so when I think about, like, Susie, can you try this? Can you try this? And then each time we work on it, she feels better. And I'm always, if it feels worse, I'm like, back off, back off.
Yeah.
But if it feels better, we're solving a problem. And then, she trusts me, and then I can, move her forward. So it's again, I'm so interested in that.
And I think that's awesome too, because as teachers, and as you've said previously, you get so much out of your class, even though you're teaching. It's amazing what your students give to you. So if you have to come up with new creative ways for Susie to get her foot forward, that's also teaching you new and different ways to getting your foot forward. And I have noticed that in a lot of your classes where I'll end up in a pose and don't know how I got there, but super happy and amazed that I got there. Like, oh, I would have never thought to get into this balance this way, or I would have never thought to transition in and out of last week crow this way. And it was amazing and exciting.
Well, our brain likes a little something new. That's very true. But I take it. So it's interesting. I was listening to a podcast with an astrophysicist, and they're saying, the question was, isn't it so big? And she said, no, it's so small. She looks at the small things. So in the Big Bang, 300 billion years ago, there were just two elements, hydrogen and helium. And from those two elements, this whole universe, this whole area was built, just two elements. There's now 118 elements. And if you take that idea, these building blocks, so you can take it to the sutras. The only sutra that mentions the yoga practice is Sira Sukham Asana. Your practice should be steady and calm, which people look at as steady and strong, flexible and strong. And I think about that all the time. These two building blocks, how can I build them? Just with two principles. So I take it from simple to complex. And that's why you don't know how you got into the pose, because I take very simple movement,
Yeah.
and then I make it and I build on it and build on and build on it until it's very complex. And when you're in the complex movement, you're like, whoa, wait, how did I get here? But I've built it up the whole time. I've just started in the beginning and I figured out the muscles you need and I just built it. So all of a sudden you're in it without much effort rather than starting complex. So if I wanted to study the galaxies and I thought, oh my God, it's so big, I would be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But if you start with helium and hydrogen, well, it's easier.
Do you have a favorite pose, and would you mind walking me through how to do it?
We're going to do triangle pose. Take your hands to your hips and rotate just slightly. I have both toes facing in and the outside edges of the feet parallel to the outside. Well, not for you because you're in a circle, but have your outside edges for your feet parallel. So there's a slight bit of that kind of an inward rotation, slight. Okay, and so that means it's a little bit of duck feet.
Yeah.
Right, because that duck feet is in a little bit, right? Now, rotate, hands on the hips, and rotate your right foot to the right. Okay. Now, with your hand at your right hip, you're going to hinge the hip and you're going to slide your left heel away from you. Do you feel that?
Oh.
Yes. Now, don't go yet. Take your hands to, first of all, left hand to left glute and fire it up by pushing your left foot into the floor as hard as you can. You'll feel it go right to your core. Push down. So the glute must fire up. And if it's not firing up, poke it. Again, like a teenager that doesn't want to wake up. Wake up. Now, hand with the right fingers, you're going to grip your right quad and make that fire. So the quad must fire. And then you'll hinge the hip, shifting the hip back. And imagine that you're a 20-year-old playing pool at the fraternity. And so you have to lean a little bit. So you're leaning a little bit. Yes. Yes, actually, I should say a little more of a disco move. And then now hand down, put your hand down on your shin, and you can go any further, just yes, but keep that strong, straight core, muscle your legs, muscle your glute, and the hand down doesn't mean anything. And the more you put your hand down, you can slide your heel back a little more and feel, but the core must stay strong. Good, the core must hold. The center must hold. Good, breathe. And then you can take your hands to your hip or the arm up to the sky, whatever feels comfortable. Yes, that looks good. Muscle the leg. And you can go down. I go down far because I can, because I've been here forever. But now I'm rounding a little bit. Go up a little higher. Yep, that's perfect. Oh my gosh, yoga journal for you. That's beautiful. How does it feel?
It feels really good, and I can even kind of make it into a bit of a heart opener too. So not only am I working my thighs, but my chest feels nice and open.
Well, push into your right big toe mound as hard as you can. Push, 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 push. Yes. Yes. Now pull the belly in and up and twist slightly at the ribs. Yes. And the left arm goes straight up. Don't bring it back. Yeah. You are perfect.
Oh, that's nice.
It's perfect. And so you work from the ground up and you work the feet, the position of the feet, and you get the legs really strong. So when the legs and the hips are stable, the spine can expand. And that's where you felt the chest open. The spine is not going to expand or open or lengthen if it feels vulnerable. It's going to hold on tight. So if you can muscle the glutes, muscle the legs, pull the belly in, the spine is going to just open.
That makes total sense, going because I've taken a lot of your time, but I just want you to know that I'm so honored by you coming on, and just know that everything in me honors everything in you, MJ. Thank you so much.